Hey guys, so welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. My name is Mina and on this channel we do art stuff. So I took a much longer break than I anticipated from posting videos on this channel after I had my daughter, my second child, and yeah, it's definitely been a bit of a steep learning curve going from being parents to one child to parents to two, and yeah, we're slowly getting into a rhythm with things. And yeah, and I had pre-recorded a whole bunch of videos, but some of them still needed voiceovers, and I basically just didn't have time to even pull out my computer, my laptop, let alone do any editing and voiceover work and stuff like that. So I decided this video is going to go up first. I will be posting the other pre-recorded stuff I still have ready to go, and so there might be a few weeks where we have more than one video going up on the channel to kind of just catch up with stuff, but I decided I'm going to do this whole video first just so I have an opportunity to explain what's been going on, where I've been, why I've been so absent, and also just to show you some of the things that I got, because I want to start playing with these, and I'm going to explain some of the purchases and the reasons behind them as well as we go along. So yeah, there's a couple of Jackson's orders, Artemiranda order, and some Amazon stuff, and some beam paints, and a couple of other bits here and there that have come in over the last few weeks, couple of months or so, and yeah, so let's just jump into it. And hopefully we'll be able to get through this before we lose the light. I've not been able to film during the day because my second child, unlike my first one, does not like being put down. So I pretty much have a baby on me all day until she goes to bed. And she ended up going to bed a bit early today because she didn't nap very well. And so I still have a bit of natural light to be able to film the unboxing. I'll probably do maybe a couple of separate videos for like the swatching and going through everything that I got and showing you the colours and how they look on paper and stuff, just because there is a lot. So we'll see how that goes. But today we're just going to do the unboxing. So let's clear some space and get to it. Okay, so first things first, I'd actually placed a couple of orders with beam paints back at the end of May, sometime in May, just before a couple of weeks before I had my baby, because they were having a sale. They were going on some sort of road trip and they were having the best ever sale they'd had that I've ever seen, where it was buy one get one free essentially. Yeah, so I picked up a few pans of paints from them. I've already unpackaged them and swatched them and work them into the rest of my palette. So now this is my entire beam paints collection, and if you guys are interested, I can do like a separate swatching video for this to show you how they all swatch out and what they all look like and the different colours, etc. But in these bags I have other paints that I've purchased as well that I wanted to share with you guys. So I've just left them in these bags so I have them on hand. Sorry if you can hear any squeaking, that's my baby on the baby monitor. I may have to run and go tend to her in a minute if she doesn't settle. Ooh. Okay, so from AliExpress I ordered a few colours of Paul Rubens paints. So I have a Paul Rubens palette, and on AliExpress you can also buy the paints open stock in tubes, and so the tubes that have the blue at the bottom, those are their professional paints. They have others where it's got like a strip in the middle, and that's their student line. But you want the ones with the blue at the bottom of the tube, that's their artist grade line. So I got a Venetian Red, Olive Green, Brilliant Yellow and Brilliant Yellow Light. So these two are basically Jaune Brilliant and Jaune Brilliant like reddish, or Naples Yellow and Naples Yellow Reddish. Those are the sort of shades that those are. And I'll show you those swatched out in a minute. Actually, I do have them swatched out in my sketchbook here, so I can actually show you what those look like really quickly. So that's these four here. So it's Brilliant Yellow Light, Brilliant Yellow, Olive Green and the Venetian Red for the Paul Rubens. Then I also got a tube of Mijello in the Quinacridone Yellow Light, which is a pigment that is new to Roman Schmall, and I've also got their pan version of it. It's PY138, and Mission Gold's the only other company that I've been able to find that sells this pigment, so I wanted to give it a try. And one of the other videos I have upcoming is a swatching of all the Mijello Mission Gold watercolors from their dot cards, and I really liked it, so that's why I ordered that one. And this is what that looks like in the sketchbook. And the other one I also got was Quinacridone Scarlet from Holbein. This is PR209, so this is the same pigment as Quinacridone Coral by Daniel Smith, or Quinacridone Red by most other brands. Sorry, my baby grunts a lot in her sleep. She's absolutely fine. It's just her normal sleep habits. So that's a really beautiful sort of corally red colour. And that's obviously that one there. And the other thing that I purchased on AliExpress, because I hadn't seen this available anywhere else for open stock. I know you can find some of the sets available online, but I've not seen the individual paints available open stock, and not all of them were, but of the ones that were available I picked up 6. And these are the Holbein gouache, the Iridori set, I think it's what they're called, the Seasons set. And I think most of these are from autumn. Might be right, I think there's one here from winter, but I think most of the rest are from the autumn set. But I found these on AliExpress for not an extortionate price, and so I thought I would get a few of these, the colours that spoke to me. So I got Amber, Gardenia Yellow, Safflower Red, Elm Green, Indigo and Russet Green. And that's what those are swatched out like. So this one's the Safflower Red, this is the Amber, Gardenia Yellow, I believe that's Elm Green, Russet Green and Indigo. I didn't realise that Elm Green and Russet Green were going to be so close in like hue to each other, otherwise I would have got a different green. But I do really like this sort of shade of warm green, so I'm sure they will get used. The Elm Green is sorry, that's my water bottle. The Elm Green is definitely more opaque, whereas the Russet Green is more transparent, just in case you're wondering what the main difference that I found between those two are. Next up are a few things I got from Amazon, and these were mostly from like Prime Day, which was a few weeks ago. And so first up I picked up this set of 36 acrylic paint pens in the earth and skin colours. I just really like the muted shades, and it's a very different selection of colours than you would typically find in like your basic primary set or any sort of other basic set. And I got it in the medium tip, I believe. In the medium tip. I can't remember what size this is in terms of millimeters. But let me just open this quickly. I can show you what they look like. Like I said, I'll probably swatch these out in a separate video. There's instructions in here on the box actually on how to fix a clogged tip. If you want to paint on glass or ceramics, how you can set it by baking it in the oven. Instructions on how to prime the pens. A little swatch key for the different colours and what they're called, which I thought was really quite interesting. And yeah, it's a nice neat little set there. And like I said, I'd had my eye on this set for a while, and it was the cheapest I'd ever seen it during Prime Day, so I got it. Oh, and it even comes with extra tips. That's really handy. So yeah, it came with a little pack of extra nibs, so that's the size of the nibs. And they're double-ended, which is really handy, so if one end sort of gets a bit damaged, you can turn it and use the other side. Annoyingly, they're not in number order, but there we go. That's what they look like. I'm just going to pop one out to show you. It's got a little clear barrel so you can see how much ink is left in there, and there's also instructions on the actual barrel for how to prime it. And you've got the colour name, I think. Is that the colour name? No, it's just from which set they're from, if it's earth or skin tone, I guess. And then that's what it looks like. So I'd say that's like a 3 3mm tip or something along those lines. So that's a cute little set. Look forward to playing around with those. And then if you saw, I did a gouache review from the Arteza gouache for their earth tones set, and these were on for a really good price for Prime Day as well. So I also picked up the sea tones, which are blues and sea tone colours, and then something else that I thought was really interesting and I hadn't seen in gouache form before were neon tones. And I'm not massive on like neon colours in general, but I thought it was interesting for gouache because I hadn't seen it before, and it'd be really fun to mix it with other colours to get various sort of shades. So this is what comes in the sea tones set. So lots of blues, violets, a couple of greens, and some other neutrals. And these are the neon colours, which I thought were quite interesting. So you've got neon narcissus yellow, neon lemon yellow, neon bright orange, neon flame red, neon coral, neon hot pink, neon magenta, neon violet, sapphire blue, cerulean blue, grass green and lime green. So those would be really interesting to swatch out and see how opaque they are. Slight detour there. I had to go deal with the baby who woke up, so apologies if the lighting is starting to get worse. I'm gonna do my best to get through this as quickly as possible while we still have some light. Okay, so other things that I got from Amazon. I got this travel brush set. I can't remember if it was I'll have to check the listing again. I'll have as much of this link down below as I can. But what I liked about it, it's by this brand Famui. But what I liked about it is that the brush screws in and out of the cap, which means it actually is not going to like fall apart while you're painting. Because I find that sometimes happens with some different travel brushes. Not all of the ones that I have do that, have that problem, but some do. So this was the size 12. The set comes with a size 12, a 4, and I think it's an 8 is the middle size. Yeah, an 8. I'd say the tips are probably a little bit smaller than the average size that it is supposed to be, but that's fine for like a travel brush. And I really like the pouch that it comes in. You could probably squeeze in another brush in there as well if you had another travel brush you really liked. But that was on for a really good price as well. I've also been really interested in playing around with rigger brushes, and I don't have a lot of I have a couple of like long thicker ones, a couple of thicker ones, rigger brushes, but I don't have any really thin ones that have a nice point. So I got this little set, which was fairly inexpensive. I didn't realise it comes with 2 of each size. So there's a 00, a 0 and a 000. So 3 very fine sort of sizes. So that'll be nice for like adding details or doing some sort of like loose line work. I've also been interested in working with like filbert brushes and working larger with filbert brushes. So I was looking for some large filberts, and the best value thing I could find was this multi-pack set from Royal & Langnickel, their Crafter's Choice. I've heard good things about this range of paintbrushes by Royal & Langnickel, and I've tried some of their other brushes but never from this range, so I wanted to give that a go. It's just white sort of Taklon hair. I got this set of like earth tone type colours of the Faber-Castell Pit Artist brush pens. I have a bunch of their brush pens already in different colours, but I don't think I have any of these colours, and it was on for a really good price, and I'd been keeping an eye on this set. I just think it's really beautiful sort of earthier tones, which I will swatch later. And also during Prime Day, the Moleskine watercolor sketchbook, or notebook as they call it, was on for like a crazy steal sort of price. It was almost half price, and these sketchbooks are normally really expensive, so I've never tried one before. I mean, for what it is, it's normally really expensive, but at the price that it was, I was willing to give it a shot and try it out because I've heard good things about this. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some really good things and some bad things, so I just wanted to give it a go for myself and see how it looks, see how it works, and see what my thoughts are about it. Anyway, so that's everything I got from Amazon. I need to change the camera battery and I'll be back with the other things. Okay, so first things first is the Artemiranda order. It wasn't a massive order, but they were having a sale, and ever since I did the swatching for the dot cards with for the Rosa Gallery paints, I've been really like sort of thinking more and more about it. And I was planning on doing a video, and I will probably still do this video at some point, just right now doesn't feel like the right time because of everything going on in the world. But I was going to do a video talking about my White Nights watercolors. They were my very first sort of professional brand of watercolors that I purchased, and I have quite a big collection of them now, and I was going to do a bit of like a mini series about them, swatching all the colors I have, talking about like if I was a beginner and I was looking to purchase my first set of paints, which colors I would get, and all that sort of stuff, from specifically to that range. But with everything going on right now, it just doesn't seem right to do that. Also, White Nights paints are becoming a little bit harder to purchase in the UK now. I know both Ken Bromley and Jackson's Art. Ken Bromley just flat out not selling them anymore, and Jackson's Art are selling what stock they have, but they are not bringing in any new stock to replenish their stock. So it's going to get harder and harder to find their paints in the UK. There is a website in the UK that you can still purchase from, which I will leave a link to below if it is something you're interested in getting. It just doesn't feel right at the moment to do a lot of content promoting that brand of paint, even though it may or may not have absolutely nothing to do with what's going on. It just doesn't seem right. I do love the paint, as you know, just irrespective of where the paints are from. They are a Russian brand of watercolor, and I will do this video series I'm thinking about on them at some point. But like I said, right now I have a lot of other ideas that I want to work on, and it just didn't feel quite right. All that aside, to say, the only place that I can currently find Rosa Gallery watercolors is from Artemiranda. I've looked online. I used to be able to get them on Amazon, but there's not much available at the moment, probably because of what's going on in Ukraine at the moment, that you can't, they're not able, I don't know, places aren't able to get stock. Anyway, so I placed I placed an order, and whilst I was at it, I noticed that Artemiranda was stocking the new Honeymooner watercolor sketchbooks, the ones that are made out of 100% cotton paper. So I picked up a small square one of that. So this is made with 100% cotton. It's 250 GSM, and it's 60 pages. And I do have the Etch sketchbook as well, which is, oh sorry, thought I was about to sneeze, which is I believe 230 GSM, and that's also 100% cotton cold pressed paper. And I thought it would be interesting to do like a side-by-side comparison to see how they are different from each other. Let me just quickly open it up and see what the texture of the paper is like. So I've seen the texture on the, I haven't used my Etch watercolor book yet, sketchbook yet, and I've got there the white cover one, the everyday sketchbook. Okay, so this doesn't feel like it's as textured, and it definitely feels like it has a right and a wrong side. So what feels like the front of the paper is slightly more textured, and the back of the paper is a bit smoother. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. Anyway, it'll be interesting to try that out and see how that works. It's got a nice sort of cover, it's hardbound, and yeah, so interested to try that out. And I also ordered some paints. They were also having a sale at the time, so the paints were really inexpensive, and because they were having a sale, their Roman Schmall paints were quite a bit cheaper from Artemiranda than from Jackson's at that particular time. So I also added a few cheeky Roman Schmall pans to my order because why not? Ooh, that's another brand that I really enjoy. Get these out. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the Rosa Gallery watercolors because I'm going to do a separate video swatching and setting up this palette. So I'll talk to you more about the colors I picked and why I picked them in that video. So I ended up getting 21 colors to create like a full palette of colors. I have a tin in mind that these are going to go in. So like I said, I'll talk to you more about which colors I've picked, why I've picked them, swatching them all out, setting up the palette, etc. in a separate video. So the colors I got for Roman Schmall are these 6. So I got, that's Cobalt Cerulean Blue, PB36. Then we have Cobalt Green Deep, PG26. Then we have Indian Red, PR101. Then we have Cyprus Burnt Umber, PPR7. I realised I didn't have any traditional earth browns in my Roman Schmall watercolours, and I was kind of missing having one. So that's what I picked. Another earth colour, Blue Ridge Burnt Sienna. That was another sort of earth colour I was missing, and that's PBR7. And finally we have Lavender, and that's PW6, PB29 and PV16. So I will unwrap and swatch those in the swatching video. So next up we have my 2 Jackson's orders. I'm going to open this one first because this was the first order. So this is everything I got. First things first, I got these 3 additional colours in the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pens. So I got the Cobalt Turquoise, Cobalt Green and Dark Chrome Yellow. I sort of looked at the set that I got from Amazon and what I already had, and sort of there were just a couple of colours to fill in the gaps of what I wanted to have. So a couple of favourites like the turquoises and a deeper sort of richer yellow. So I grabbed these as well, and like I said, I'll swatch these out. What I might do is I might just do a swatching video for all the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pens that I have in my collection at the moment. And the reason why I got a few more of these and some of the other supplies that I've got is like more dry supplies like pencils and stuff, is because right now with the new baby I'm finding that I don't have a lot of time to come up to my office space to do paintings and stuff like that. So I wanted some mediums like pencils, brush pens, paint pens, etc. that I could easily carry around the house and not necessarily need to have a pot of water and a paintbrush to be able to work with them. Although some of the materials are water soluble, as you'll see, but then for those I could always just use a water brush to activate them if I wanted to. So the idea behind some of these supplies that I got was to have things that, like I said, I can just take around the house and work on, even if the baby's asleep on me, which at the moment seems to happen a lot. She doesn't let me put her down very often, even when she's asleep. So I just, you know, I've been feeling the itch to do something creative, but I'm not able to a lot of the time. So hopefully having some of these sort of more pen, pencil type mediums will allow me to do something, or some kind of sketching in a sketchbook or something, even if I can't get up here to paint all the time. So another thing that I purchased from Jackson's was a couple of paint brushes. So this one is another rigger brush. Like I said, I've been interested in trying out riggers recently. This is by the Handover company. It's a size 8 rigger apparently, although it looks a bit small for a size 8 in terms of thickness. So this is a size 8 by the Handover sort of company. This was in the clearance section on Jackson, so it was only about £1, so I thought I would give it a try and see what I thought of it. It doesn't seem to come to a particularly fine point, which is fine, but I think it'd be fun for some like loose sort of brush strokes and mark making and stuff. The other brush I got is, apparently it looks like it's a new line of brushes by Da Vinci. It's their Da Vinci Colineo, and I think it's meant to be, it's a synthetic, I think it's a synthetic now, I can't remember, sort of Kolinsky hair type. It must be synthetic because it wasn't that expensive. There we go, and I got the size 8, so a nice sort of middle size. It's a nice sort of length brush. It's got a nice sort of ergonomic type of handle, and I'm looking forward to trying this one out. Okay, so looking at the pencils, we'll see what's in here. So they've actually recycled these boxes, so what's on the packaging is not necessarily what is in the box. In fact, I know it's probably not what's in the box. I didn't order any Holbein or Faber-Castell pencils. So I did order some Caran d'Ache pencils, so we'll see what box those ones ended up in. Ah, Caran d'Ache pencils are in the Holbein box. Does that make sense, doesn't it? Oh, and a couple more. Okay, so at the time when I ordered these pencils, the Caran d'Ache pencils were on sale, which is why I ended up ordering a few more of those. So I picked up a few, how many is there? 8 of the Caran d'Ache Luminance and 5 of the Derwent Inktense pencils, just to try out. Like I said, wanting to sketch around the house and stuff, and I thought the Inktense would be fun for if I wanted to do some background washes and stuff, wet them up and then be able to draw or do anything else on top, even if it's a wet media. I know they're not gonna run because it's essentially water activated ink in these pencils, and so once they've been activated with water and they dry, they are permanent. So the colors I got burnt orange, which is number 260, sun yellow, which is number 200. Here we have Payne's grey, which is number 2110, dark aquamarine, which is 1210, and then finally teal green, and which is 1300. So if I like these and they work well for me, I might purchase a few more colours, but we'll have to see about that. Sorry for any background noise, my daughter's getting ready, my older daughter is getting ready for bed. So that's those. And then for the luminance colours, I've never tried this brand or the Inktense either, so these will be interesting. So for the luminance, we have Anthraquinone Carmine, number 580. Like I said, I will have these all swatched out in another video coming up. We have Green Ochre, which is number 25. Payne's Grey, which is number 508. I wanted a nice dark colour. We have Beryl Green, which is number 214. And we have Anthraquinone Pink, 571. I tried to go for like a slightly quirky colour palette and nothing like super traditional. Then we have Chrysocolla Blue, which is number 671. We have, what's that one? Golden Bismuth Yellow, which is 820. And finally we have Malachite Green, 180. So that's an interesting colour palette, let's say. We'll see how those swatch up. Okay, so in here, bear in mind, if you don't know, the packing cubes, the packing peanuts rather, that Jackson's used, these are water soluble or compostable. I think they're made from potato starch, so they are fully recyclable. And the cellophane that they use to wrap their brushes in is compostable as well. So everything, all their packaging, as much as possible, is fully recyclable or compostable. Oh, having said that, they just have there's a note in this box that explains that very thing, that their packaging is sustainable and that their packing peanuts are 100% compostable, made from sustainable starch-based raw materials. Using a low energy manufacturing process, they are natural, non-toxic, and break down in home composting. They're also completely water soluble, and you can dissolve them in water and pour them down the sink. So I thought that was interesting to have that information there. So yeah, you can pause the screen and read that if you'd like. I picked up a few more of the Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2s because again, they were on sale. The Caran d'Ache products were on sale. So I picked up a few more to add to my growing collection. I sort of mentioned in a video a while back now about if anyone would like to see me swatch out my collection of Caran d'Ache Neo Colors, and a couple of people said they'd be interested, so I actually went ahead and filmed that before I ended up taking this really long break. But now I think I'm going to refilm it because I have these additional colours and I'll incorporate those as well. So the colours I got were alizarin crimson, or crimson alizarin hue. We have aubergine, we have chromium oxide green. What was this one? Burnt sienna, turquoise green, ruby red, indigo blue, canary yellow, and this looks almost identical to it, and this is Chinese green. The Chinese green and canary yellow look almost identical. They're not actually the same colour, but it's funny, at first I thought I got the duplicate, but not to worry. So that's those. And then finally in here, we have a medium I'm most familiar with, which are watercolours. Let's pop these in there. Might give these to my older daughter to play with tomorrow and melt them in the water and have fun with that.
I'll put them all in at the same time actually.
And use your hands to smush them together and
Feel it's a bit disappeared.
Is it starting to melt?
This one. Boy, this one's really melted.
Yeah.
One has really melted up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like this, but it really melted up.
Yeah.
Right now, it's melted up, but it's supposed to be like this. It's melted up because it melted from water.
Yeah.
It's disappeared.
Good job.
It's melting really fast.
Yeah.
Melting so fast.
Is it fun? It's a little like science experiment, isn't it?
Yeah. Good science.
Good science. These have ended up a bit squished in the process of getting here. So what I got was I got Cobalt Blue from Jackson. These are all Jackson's own brand watercolors in the 10mm size tubes. And when I placed this particular order, the Jackson's own brand watercolors were also on sale. So I got the Cobalt Blue, which is PB72, which is not a pigment that I've seen very often. Like I know a couple of other brands that offer PB72 as a Cobalt Blue Deep, so I thought I would try the Jackson's variation. Then Permanent Alizarin Crimson Deep, which is PR206. That's a colour that I absolutely love, and I have the same colour, the exact same pigment, the exact same name by Sennelier as well, and it's a little known, I say little known, it's kind of this thing, this rumour that's been going around that Jackson's own brand paints are made by Sennelier, which when you look at some of the pigments and the naming of some of the colours and you see how they match up, you can understand why people think that, but no one knows 100% for sure. They've never disclosed that. But the pigment, PR206, is a colour that I absolutely love. I think Winsor & Newton call it brown madder. It's some sort of like, I think Roman Schmall have it as like Quinacridone Madder or something like that. It just PR206 is a colour I really like, and Winsor & Newton also use that colour to formulate their permanent alizarin crimson colour, but I've heard that the PR206 pigment is going to be discontinued, so if it is included in a colour that you like, in a paint that you like, you might want to stock up on that particular colour. But I wanted to get this because, like I said, because they're very similar to the Sennelier paints, if not exactly the same. The Jackson's own brand paints are significantly cheaper than Sennelier, and Sennelier are already a very affordable brand for professional paints anyway. So I picked up a tube of the permanent alizarin crimson deep, and also their Quinacridone Gold has that PR206 pigment in it. So this one, this Quinacridone Gold hue is made up of PR101, PY150 and PR206. So the Sennelier Quinacridone Gold, you guessed it, has the exact same pigment makeup and includes that PR206 as well. So these two tubes, the Quinacridone Gold and the alizarin crimson deep, were kind of more like a backup purchase. So I had that in case, you know, that pigment does go out of stock soon and they stop having it. But after I placed the order, I realized that's like a nice little triad of colors, like a primary triad of Quin Gold, the alizarin crimson deep and the cobalt blue. So when I come to swatch these, I might do some color mixing as well to see how these work together and how they mix, and what kind of colors you can get with them. Alright, so that's everything for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry that it was a bit disjointed and that we are quickly losing the light. It may be summertime and it doesn't get dark that early anymore, but I'm definitely noticing a lot of shadows coming in now as we get later and later in the day. So I am gonna go, and I will catch you guys hopefully I'll be able to get this video up soon, and that the following videos with the swatching and all of that won't take too long. What I might do is I might do the swatching and then do voiceovers over that, because I should be able to actually do the swatching during the day. It's just whether or not I can do it without any sort of background noise so I can talk at the same time is to be seen. So what we'll probably do, or what I'll probably do, is do the swatching during the day, so we have better light, and then do voiceovers to talk about what I've done and what I'm doing, etc. Afterwards, which I can do in the evenings. And yeah, I will hopefully see you guys very soon. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to experimenting with these new supplies and seeing how I can use them a bit more. So I can actually create some art around the house and not necessarily have to come up here all the time. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, take care, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye!